Hello. Good morning. It's 9 o'clock, and guess what? We start. Dear Professor Adrian Ritz, Delegate of the University Board for Continuing Education, distinguished guests, dear IPDET participants, welcome to Bern, welcome to the University of Bern, and welcome to IPDET 2024. We are so happy to have you all with us, joining from around the world in those turbulent times for a unique experience of learning and networking during the next 2 weeks. My name is Stefanie Krapp, I'm head of the program, and I will guide you through the next 1.5 hours of this welcome session and through the next 2 weeks, actually. I would like to extend a warm welcome to a guest from a Swiss organization, from the Swiss Federal Audit Office. This is Matthias Rickli of the Evaluation Department. He is sitting in the back. And, surprise, he will be our guide for the excursion on Sunday. So if you have any questions later, he will be the one. He's a Swiss mountaineer. We as IPDET are dedicated to evaluation capacity development as an essential factor to the increasingly complex requirements of evaluation. Especially in light of the SDGs, the global climate change, fake news, crises and wars all over the world, it is more important than ever to develop individual and institutional capacities to conduct, commission, and use high-quality evaluations, including strengthening the role of the civil society in demanding, conducting, and using evaluations. Why? It is nothing less than to give people a voice who would not be heard otherwise, follow a systematic way of collecting information, while at the same time be very creative according to different contexts. Provide meaningful and useful information for improving the lives of people. So let me thank you all for having made the effort to come here and dedicate your time and your passion for this mission. Thank you very much. And so do the implementing partners of IPDET. I would like to briefly introduce them to you. The program is run by the Center for Continuing Education at the University of Bern and the Center of Evaluation in Saarbrücken, Germany, in partnership with the Independent Evaluation Group and the Global Evaluation Initiative of the World Bank. For 20 years, the Center for Continuing Education has been conducting professional, interdisciplinary continuing education programs in evaluation that range from 1 day to a 2 years Master of Advanced Study programs. And Dr. Christina Kunz, Director of the Center, is with us this morning, so welcome, Christina. Also, for more than 20 years, CEVAL has been globally active research, consulting, and educational institution that combines classical evaluation work with theory and method development, as well as training and further education in evaluation, including 2 evaluation master's programs. So welcome to Professor Reinhard Stockmann, Director of the Center for Evaluation. And the program is conducted on behalf of the Independent Evaluation Group of the World Bank. And since 2021, IPDET is core implementing partner of the Global Evaluation Initiative, GEI, of the World Bank. GEI is a global network of organizations and experts supporting development countries, governments with strengthening monitoring, evaluation, and the use of evidence in their countries. IPDET has been around for quite a while. Let's have a brief look on how it developed. We created kind of a poster. It's a journey basically on a boat, and the poster is hanging outside, so you can read the details later if you want. But what I would like to emphasize is it's the 24th anniversary of IPDET. the 7th year of joint implementation by the University of Bern and the Center for Evaluation, and the 5th on-site delivery in Bern, as we had to conduct 2 pure virtual programs to the pandemic. So that's quite impressive, quite a long journey. In between, a little bit bumpy, and we had to cross the Atlantic from Canada to Switzerland. Our yearly program consists of the 2 weeks on-site program, which is the heart of IPDET, a number of online workshops, virtual community building activities, as well as on-site and online global outreach activities in different regions of the world. After this very successful long-term cooperation between the University of Bern and the Center for Evaluation, IPDET will undergo some changes from 2025 on due to a changing world and a changed institutional setup under GEI in partnership with the University of Bern. Welcome to the latecomers. Please sit down. So let's focus on the on-site program. That's why you're all here. The coming 2 weeks, an intensive program lies ahead of us, starting with the core course on fundamentals of evaluation, followed by a week of 12 different specialized workshops, in which most of you then will stay and will tailor and deepen the learning taught by renowned international faculty. And in addition to joint learning in both large and small groups, the program includes networking events and more to enable interaction with other participants and with experts in the field. Let me thank the Global Evaluation Initiative, GEI, for providing a grant which enabled us to finance scholarships that permits the program a need-based orientation. These scholarships made it possible that 80 of you could come to Bern this year and participate in the program. So thanks a lot to GEI and the sponsors of the Trust Fund. Well, it's time for the official opening of the 2024 on-site program. So please welcome Professor Adrian Ritz, the delegate of the University Board for Continuing Education, for his welcome speech. Welcome, Adrian.
Good morning. And also a very warm welcome to all of you on behalf of the board of the University of Bern. It is a great pleasure to address such a distinguished group of around 180 professionals during the 2 weeks, scholars, politicians, and students from around 71 countries worldwide. While I won't greet you in 71 languages, I would like to greet you in one more, which is of course Swiss German. So I'll simply say one word in Swiss German that means hello, grüezi. And don't try to become a Swiss German professional during the coming 2 weeks. I'm sure it is much more relevant for you to be an evaluating expert in the end. But this grüezi also means a very warm welcome to you from a special environment. First, this very small country has 2 languages and 2 cultures and 4 languages. So we have the Germanic culture in the north with German as a major official language. And then we have the Latin culture in the west and in the south with French and Italian as the 2 other official languages. And in the Far East, there is a small minority speaking an ancient Roman language, which is Romansh. Switzerland's democracy is not only about the rights of the majority, this is much more also about integrating minorities. Second, although cultural diversity is not always a predictor of a peaceful future, Switzerland has maintained a peaceful past by building institutions that prevent conflict and seek consensus. At both the national and state levels, there is no true presidency in the governments. Instead, there are always 5 to 7 kings from different political parties who govern together and must find consensus, even if their personal opinions differ from the majority of the government Council. I hope you can hear you. Yeah, seems to work. Third, now I come to some truth and cliches. Swiss people are nature and outdoor lovers. While, for instance, Italians value beauty, Germans value efficiency and rules. Swiss citizens are deeply connected to their mountains, cows, and fondue cheese. But I think let's stop here. I hope you will have the pleasure this week to enjoy some chocolate or cheese. This is the 7th issue of IPDET, and the program is a resounding success. I believe this is very important because you are helping to strengthen the evaluation capacity in your countries and policy fields, as well as the decision-making capacity in local, regional, national, and also supranational institutions. As a public management scholar, I'm well aware of the critical role evaluation plays in capacity building within public, private, and non-profit organizations. We cannot discuss the past success of IPDET without acknowledging our collaborating partner from Germany, the Center for Evaluation CEVAL, and colleagues Reinhard Stockmann and Wolfgang Meyer. Welcome once again to the University of Bern, and I fondly remember my PhD days and, you know, a small red book called Evaluation Research, edited by Reinhard Stockmann, and it was a significant resource for my dissertation because Reinhard Stockmann was one of the first to write about evaluation in the context of public management reform. Thanks also for that contribution 20 years ago or 25 years ago. I would also like to welcome our second party, the Independent Evaluation Group of the World Bank. Additionally, we extend our gratitude to the Trust Fund of the Global Evaluation Initiative of the World Bank. Continuous education is not typically a primary focus of research universities, as it does not directly contribute to academic career advancement. However, in an era of lifelong learning, continuous education is becoming crucial for transferring scientific insights and knowledge into society. This is why the University of Bern is proud to be the largest academic provider of further education programs in Switzerland. We offer more than 140 programs to professionals from a wide range of backgrounds. Under the leadership of Dr. Christina Quons, the Center for Continuing Education is transforming right now into a center for lifelong learning. And you may be surprised, but in the coming fall semester, lifelong learning will once again take place in these halls with those who are at the beginning of their learning journey, the 8 to 12-year-olds from the Children's University. The true value of continuing education lies not in the lectures alone. Continuing education is also about gaining new ideas for research and teaching from practitioners and benefiting from the diverse perspectives of participants who can serve as both sparring partners and teachers. Therefore, I strongly encourage you to benefit not only from the lecturer, I'm sure they are excellent and of course important, but also from your fellow participants. Engage in discussions and exchanges that only can be created by the unique and inspiring environment of a summer school. I'm happy for you that today marks the beginning of summer in Switzerland after 2 months of rain. But more importantly, it marks also the beginning of an exciting learning journey for you. Whether you are an experienced evaluator or a newcomer eager to learn, I hope the IPDET Summer School becomes a hub of knowledge exchange, innovative ideas, and professional growth for you. Again, I would like to extend my thanks to the organizers, above all to Stefanie Krapp, and to the instructors, the supporters, including the City of Bern, which, as I heard, is generously sponsoring the refreshments for tonight's dinner. Enjoy the upcoming 2 weeks. Relish your time at the University of Bern. Enjoy the City of Bern and its surroundings. And above all, take full advantage of the privilege of learning. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Adrian Ritz, for warmly welcoming our participants to the University of Bern, and thanks to the University of Bern for hosting IPDET since 2018, actually. So, one big asset of IPDET is the variety of the participants. So you come from different countries and different organizations, working in different positions with a passion for evaluation. At IPDET, you all come together in one place, learning and working jointly, exchanging experiences and ideas in the next 1 to 2 weeks. So this is a quite unique and very exciting experience you will have, and what an enormous energy will be created, I can promise you. So wouldn't that be interesting to see who you are? Yeah. So let me introduce you to you. And do it like this. So in total, this year we have 166 participants from 71 countries throughout the 2 weeks. And this week in the core course, we have 117 participants from 61 countries. Incredible, or? Shall we have a closer look? This week, core course participants. Let's see who has the highest attendance. Well, you want to make a guess? Countries with highest attendance? Ooh, Philippines, Tanzania, 7 participants. Whoa! Very good. Second, couple of Brazil, Trinidad, Tobago, Switzerland, Nepal, Pakistan, 4 participants each. And then we have a couple of countries with 3 participants each. Ethiopia, Ghana, Jordan, Mexico, Moldova, Mongolia, Switzerland. Oh, again Switzerland, I'm sorry. No, not Switzerland in that part. Ukraine, United Kingdom, and the United States. So, but now it gets even more interesting. Then we have 18 countries with 2 participants each, and 29 countries with 1 participant each. So what a great variety, right? Let's have even a more closer look at it. And you need to get to move now, right? Don't fall asleep. Probably some of you are still in jet lag. We don't want that. From time to time this week, I will ask you to get up and move and do some silly stuff. Don't worry, you know, it's just for fun, and don't be embarrassed. So now that's the easiest task. When I call, or when your country is called, you have to get up, yeah, so that everybody can see who you are. So 29 from Europe and Central Asia. So please get up. Albania, Armenia, Austria, Azerbaijan, France, Georgia, Germany, Ireland, Italy, Luxembourg, Moldova, Serbia, Switzerland, Tajikistan, Ukraine, United Kingdom. Here we go. Welcome, Europeans. Thank you. Next. Sub-Saharan Africa, Africa's 27 participants. Where are you? Cape Verde, Ethiopia, the Gambia, Ghana, Kenya, Lesotho, Niger, Nigeria, Rwanda, Senegal, South Africa, Tanzania, Uganda, and Zimbabwe. Woohoo! Welcome to IPDET. Thank you. And 18 participants from Latin America and the Caribbean, Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, Cuba, Ecuador, Jamaica, Mexico, Peru, Trinidad, Tobago. Bienvenidos. And we're expecting in the networking areas a lot of Latin American music, right? Expectations are high. In the past years, the Latin Americans were really rocking it, so we are looking forward to it. 16 participants from East Asia and Pacific. Australia, Cambodia, China, Indonesia, Mongolia, Philippines, Thailand. Sawadee ka. Welcome. and 14 participants from North Africa and the Middle East, the Arab Republic of Egypt, Iraq, Jordan, Lebanon, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Republic of Yemen. Sabah al-khair. We have 9 participants from South Asia, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Maldives, Nepal, Sri Lanka. Welcome. Woohoo. Nice, thank you. And 4 from North America, Canada, and the United States. Where are you? 1, 2, 2 are missing, 2 are too shy. Okay. Welcome, welcome. A couple of people who either were selected for scholarship or were participants on a regular basis could not make it because they could not receive a visa. So there were quite a lot. So I'm really feeling very sorry that they couldn't make it. We tried everything. As you can imagine, especially countries like Afghanistan, Ethiopia, Somalia, Sudan, Niger also, so a lot of countries which made it impossible that they could participate. And what do you say about this? What does that tell us? Yeah. No gender balance. A positive gender balance, or how would you call that? We will learn. We will all learn about gender responsive evaluation in module 4 with Candice. So, but that's a good basis, I guess. Okay, that is quite interesting for you, probably, to see from which organizations are you all coming from, representing different organizations. So we have, does that work? Yeah. From government ministries, that's the majority, followed by international, regional, multilateral development organizations, UN specialized organizations, and non-governmental organizations. Yeah, this is the majority, but we also have parliamentarians. 2 parliamentarians, are they here this week? Ooh, welcome. From where? Mongolia. And the second one? Second parliamentarian? Not yet arrived. Okay. Undercover. Yeah, and we have from Research Institute, private enterprises, some from foundations, of course, from financial organizations. Yeah, quite interesting. Self-employed also. So, as you can imagine, now you have here in the room many people from different countries working in different positions in different organizations. It's a great variety, and you should really make use of this great experience which is here in the room. So we are instructors, we give you some input, but the advantage, the big advantage and the big asset of IPDET is that you can all learn from each other and share your own experience. And what we heard from alumni from the past is that many keep in touch. And if they have a question on a difficult evaluation, they know who to contact in a different country. Oh, I know you have done a similar thing. Great, can you give me some advice, and so on. Or I heard that some of them did joint evaluations. Yeah, so that's also a great advantage of this richness in this room. And we will provide you kind of a platform to be able to meet each other, to exchange, to network, because that is equally important than that we give you input here. So, well, it's ecologically not the best thing to say, but what do you think, who had the farthest way? And when we're talking kilometers, maybe not in hours. Hours, probably others had a longer trip. What do you think, who has the longest way to IPDET, to Bern? Australia? Yeah. Who are you from Australia? No, who is from Australia? Oh, hey, welcome. Good. Next. Chile. What? No, South Africa? Anything else? Sri Lanka? Let's see. Ooh, Indonesia. Who's from Indonesia? Ooh, great. Great. Welcome. Then, Tajikistan. Oh, Tajikistan? Or? Oh, Argentina is obviously a little bit further. I mean, almost the same as Indonesia. And then we have Mexico. Yeah, quite long. And Thailand, Bangkok. And finally here, South Africa. Not that far, I guess. Just from down to the top. Okay. So now, you need to do something. First question is, there are many fountains in the city of Bern. I don't know if you have walked around a little bit already in the city and you saw those fountains. It's drinkable water, so whenever you pass by, you can fill up your IPDET mug. You are always carrying around, I guess. So now the question is, I give you 3 numbers. What do you think is the correct number? How many of those fountains are in the city? Okay, I'll say 50, 208, and 102. What? 200, over 200. Who is for over 200? Who is for 102? And 50? Okay, it's the 102. But still quite a lot, and it really in the city. Next question is, Professor Adrian Ritz already mentioned it, like it's a chocolate country, and you should really try the chocolate, right? So now the question is, how many tons of chocolate Swiss chocolate factories produce in Switzerland? I'll give you a number. Let's see. 90,000 tons, 180,000 tons, or 250,000 tons? 100. Who is for 50? What did I say? 50,000? I'm not reading. See, it's missing. I cannot read it. So who is for the smaller amount? 180,000 and 200 whatever. No, sorry, it's 180,000. 180,000. No, yeah. No, it's really produced in Switzerland and produced by 16 most important chocolate factories. Produced more than 180,000 tons of chocolate. And 70% are exported. Is it working now? Oh, okay, but no. You want to do the last? You want to do the last question online? Oh, we did. Okay, we did that again. You can skip that, and you can skip the next one. Let's just do it. Okay, but the last voting is easy because Professor Ritz already told you. Now let's see if you really listen to him. How many national languages has Switzerland? Oh, good. Okay, good. And which are those? Very good. So keep that attitude in the next 5 days and remember everything we are going to tell you, yeah? Good. Excellent. Okay. Thank you, Zoara. Now we can move back to the presentation. That worked well. Wow. We will do it in this afternoon again, and hopefully it will work then. Okay. Thanks, no problem. Yeah, here, now, important. Meet the incredible team. So, as you have all experienced some communication with at least one of the team. I would like to introduce you to the team because they will guide you, help you, support you during the next 2 weeks, and they already did an incredible job in preparing this program this year. So let's welcome Matthias, who is probably working outside, Zoara, Clara, Hilde, Elin, Ercan, and Veronica. Please. Ah, here he is. Oh, I didn't see you. No, he's not. So, they are the superheroes, as you can see. And whatever problem you have, you can approach them. They're here for you. And they do the best they can. We are all not perfect, so also please be patient. And I wish us all a very successful and great and enjoyable implementation of IPDET Onsite 2024. They have all with us they were with us the past years, except of Hilde is new and Clara is new, the communication officer. But they are the most important people for the 2 weeks, I guess, because without them, nothing will work. So thanks a lot and get back to work. Thank you. Back to work. So, some people are still missing to present to you, and we are kind of moving now to the content. That's why you are all here, right? Before the coffee break. So, the core course on fundamentals of evaluation is the heart of IPDET. We will all be together for the full week. We will be here. We will be also split up in smaller groups and do group work, very practical group work. And I would like to introduce you, of course, now to the famous core course IPDET instructors. This is Candice Morkel, director of the CLEAR Anglophone Africa, Center for Learning, and I always forget the rest, Center for Learning and Evaluation and Results. Wolfgang Meyer, professor at the Saarland University and also representing the Center for Evaluation, and Professor Reinhard Stockmann, director of the Center for Evaluation. And okay. No, not yet. Not yet. First, some questions, because we thought we don't want to do like reading their bios. I mean, they're all famous, of course, and you can read the bio yourself in the welcome guide and on the website. So we thought we make it a little bit more interesting by asking 2 questions. And the first question would be, what is your most striking or memorable experience in the past years of IPDET or co-teaching the core course?
Good morning, everybody. Just to say that I'm so excited always to see all of you here. So welcome from my side. So always on the Friday, when there's the graduation, when people come up with their songs and they have little dances that they come up with, for me, that's always just the pleasure, the elation of having completed something that was really strenuous in the week, and just the complete joy of having, graduated and received the certificate, and just the bonding that one sees happening at the end of the week. Like at the moment, you are all quite, professional with each other, and by the end of the week, you'll be dancing with each other. So that's always most striking for me.
Well, I think there are a lot of experiences, and I think for me, it's always a great experience to see you all here. So let's say this international audience coming from all over the world and interested to learn more about evaluation. I think this is absolutely great. But if you ask me to put one thing out, one special experience, then it's the following. So it's several years ago, and it was after the core course, and then after the core course, some person came to me and said, well, that was very interesting. I have now an idea how evaluation works, but how on earth can I use it in my country where people are tortured, where innocent people put into prison and sometimes killed? And this really affected me very deeply and make me think. And I think one of result of that is that it is very, very much important that we not only focus on ministries, UN organizations and so on, so that we also have to focus on non-governmental organizations in the field of capacity development and evaluation. And so I'm very happy that this year we have so many people from non-governmental organizations.
And let me ask you another question, Reinhard, because I know you have to leave, strangely. So just tell us one thing nobody knows about you.
Of course, I will not tell you. Otherwise, everyone will know that. But I can tell you something that only a few people know. It is not that I hiked to the Everest base camp several times. There are a lot of people knowing that in the meantime. But there's one thing I'm sure really only a few people know. Because beside my, let's say, academic career, I have had some, let's say, second life. I worked for several years as a travel journalist. And that was really a great time. But at the end, evaluation won out and I became a professor.
Thank God. No,
Can I take this?
Okay. Yeah. Okay, Wolfgang. Okay, Wolfgang. What is your most memorable experience from IPDET from the past?
No, actually, I'm not all the time a serious person, but this is very serious here. Well, we are doing this now for 7 years, and the most exciting thing, there's a lot of dancing, wonderful, and a lot of good situations, but the most exciting things is you're coming from 71 countries and a lot of different cultures. And it is for me one thing for my heart if I see people from different cultures working together. And even people like, let's say, Arabs and Jews, even those people who are really in trouble and fighting. And then we are coming here to IPDET. And we are in a calm, peaceful thing. That nothing happened ever here. Everything was fine. And the people enjoyed to be themselves and work together with people from other parts of the world. And this is a moment where I think, well, we are doing something for the peace in the world here. Thank you for doing that this time too.
Yeah, absolutely right. And let me share my most memorable experiences it was last year, the final graduation party, dancing, and people were starting to say farewell. And then like 2 women approached me and they were crying. I was like, no, we have to leave now, and we really would like to thank you all for this great experience, because this one woman said, then because I was professionally lost, I wasn't quite sure how to continue, and now I know exactly what I will do when I go home. I will set up an evaluation association, and I will do whatever I can to push the government to implement evaluation structures. And they were really, really emotional about it. So we were all crying, and I thought, yeah, okay, thank you so much for trusting in us. So now the question: what is your, Candice? I'm really eager to know what we all don't know about you. One thing.
So I really struggled with this question because, look, I'm a specialist in public administration, public governance, and how much more boring do you get that? So I'm pretty much an open book and straightforward. But there's one thing that maybe you guys don't know about me is that I am actually quite artistic. I love painting and drawing. And if you come to my home, you'll see some of my paintings actually hanging on my walls.
I didn't know that. Wow. Cool. And Wolfgang, one thing.
Well, yes, quite easy. I just want to reformulate the question saying, what is the thing you do not really want to know about me? And I just took up, well, there are thousands, but I took up one. And that's, well, I'm now playing guitar for 45 years. And those people who listen to me say, oh, yes, that sounds nice. Sounds like Teen Spirit or something like that. No, it was Beethoven. So that's my way of interpreting that. So you really do not want to listen to my guitar playing. Yeah. No, I just want to add it here about my personal dress code. You will see me wearing T-shirts from all the regions of the planet. Unfortunately, I do not have 71 T-shirts to wear, but I just took up one. And this one today is representing Europe. It's Ukraine. And I just want to mention that this was a present from the people from Ukraine from last year. And they sent it to me personally. And this is really something I really appreciate, and very thanks to the people in Ukraine. And we all know they have to suffer. I've never been in Ukraine, but I promise I will go there until it's possible again. Thank you.
Thank you, Wolfgang. Okay, and I share my. I was really thinking about it. Okay, what should I say? But then I thought, okay, maybe you don't know. I'm the biggest Billy Joel fan. Really the big, I have all albums and I can sing most of the songs. I've been to, I'll do it later when you ask. So, and I went to a concert twice. So the first one was like 25 years ago. And then like, I think it was like 6 years ago or something, he went back to Frankfurt. So I went there with it was a present from my brother. It was a big surprise. And he paid a lot of money for the tickets. And we were sitting in, like, it was a big hall, right? And then we were sitting in the middle down there. But Billy Joel fans are not the youngest fans anymore. So there were, I mean, in my age and then older ones. So they were all chairs, right? So you had to sit down. And immediately, I mean, really like sitting in the middle. And then immediately when he started to sing, I was getting up, right? And then singing along and dancing. And then the people around me were like, can't you sit down? Can't you sit down? Excuse me, excuse me. It's like, no way, no way. So I was dancing and singing the whole time and I had the greatest time ever. And I was so grateful. So maybe I'll play you some Billy Joel songs the next couple of days, and you will like, oh my God. Okay, so but where did Reinhard go? Oh my God, he disappeared. I don't know why. He didn't work yet. So I think I see him.
Hi. How many people here? So many people. Why they are here? I don't know. Maybe it is because of the chocolate. You know, they produce so much chocolate in Switzerland, and maybe that's a chocolate congress. Is it a chocolate congress? No, I see the Matterhorn. It's a mountaineering congress. You want to learn how to climb the Matterhorn, right? Well, my due respect for that. That's great. I only made it to the Hörnli-Hütte, not as far as that. So my due respect to that. But no? I look in your faces and does not look like that I am right. Why you here?
Sorry?
Why are you here?
I'm just here to have fun.
Oh, to have fun. So I'm sure that it's a lot of fun to climb the Matterhorn. Great. Okay, I wish you great success. For sure that will be fun. You also will climb Matterhorn?
What? Sorry?
You will climb the Matterhorn?
That's
the mountain, or this is the famous
mountain?
Matterhorn?
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have enough days here. So...
That's not a mountaineering congress?
No.
Oh, no. What is it about? What is it about?
This one is about evaluation.
Oh, that's great. Evaluation. Oh, what is that? Is that a new product they sell here in Switzerland? Or maybe that's I know. It's a new bank, a bank instrument or something like that. There's so many banks here in Bern, for sure. Look, there are people here in front, and maybe they know what's that is here all about. Is that, can you explain it? Why are you here? You're here in front, so maybe you can tell me what's going on here.
Well, sir, if you didn't know,
No.
the Matterhorn, if I can bring you over
the
here.
Matterhorn. This famous mountain.
It's this famous mountain. It's a description of the evaluation process. Do you know what evaluation is about?
No.
Okay, so I think evaluation is like climbing a mountain, right?
So.
And you have many, many mountains. I mean, I'm sure for all of you, you've got mountains on your continents, right? And each mountain has its own way in which it must be climbed. But there's certain processes that you must follow to make it a successful journey. And we'll explain to you what they are doing here to learn about this journey. So, planning. Steffi? Or
Exactly. So like in mountaineering, when you plan to climb a mountain, like the Matterhorn, you have to do a lot of planning. And you have to check how the conditions are, how's the weather. You need to have all the equipment in place so that it's safe to walk up the mountain, and it can be quite steep. So you really have to be prepared, and you have to think about who should accompany you, because doing it all by yourself would be very dangerous, so you don't want to do that. So you should think about who should accompany you. You should inform other people about the trip, and so on. So the planning phase is quite important in mountaineering and in evaluation. So we will dedicate also quite a lot of time to that. And then after planning, Wolfgang, do we then start climbing?
Well, probably not. Yeah. Well, yes, there's a lot of things which have to be done in front of that. The first thing is, of course, we also have to think about the methods we are trying to use. Yeah. So it's not recommended to go up to the Matterhorn with flip-flops, I think. Yeah. You should use good shoes. What good shoes are on the mountain? Well, you will find a lot of Swiss who can tell you that. This is some kind of a methodology. And if you go in a group, you probably also should go and not as a single step walking alone. You should be somehow getting some strips around so you cannot fall down. And these are equipments. And so you have to think about what you use for the Matterhorn. But of course, it's not only the Matterhorn, it's all the other way around. So this is about developing the methodology. So I'm not quite sure who's coming. You, are you?
So as I said, there are many different kinds of mountain ranges, right? In South Africa, we've got Table Mountain, which is very famous. Some of you might know Kilimanjaro and so forth. And the reason why we chose a mountain analogy, for obvious reasons, we are here in Switzerland. But I think also what's really important to remember is that we will take you through the process of evaluations from start to finish. But it's really, really important to remember that it's not a recipe of step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4 until the end. Each time you climb this mountain of evaluation, you'll find that the context is different. So each time you have to decide on methods, for example. Whereas one kind of tool will work for one particular context, it might not work for another. And similarly, by the time you come to implementation, you'll find that your evaluation design plan, you have to be a little bit agile, a little bit adaptive, because, of course, you have to do the things that the evaluation requires. You need to do the sampling. You need to do the data collection. But you might find that the context actually guides and directs you. But what we want you really to remember is that there is a well-defined process that's been practiced for years. But you must remember that each time you do an evaluation, you need to be very alive to the context. You have to be able to adapt to the different context. But the process remains the ideal process where you have the sampling. You've got to collect the data. You'll use different tools and methods. You'll analyze the data. Very, very importantly, you've got to make meaning of the data, synthesize it, and then make sure that your evaluation is on track until we get to the top.
Well, that sounds very interesting and very similar to climb a mountain. That's great. So I think I'm very interested. You climb the mountain, you do the evaluation, and at the end you get a chocolate. That's great. So I stay here.
Perfect. Thank you that you are committed to that climb. And we will hopefully not stay up the top, because that's the ultimate goal, right? To want to climb the mountain, you want to reach the top. And the ultimate goal is that your evaluations are useful and get used. But then you somehow have to get down again and start again with another evaluation. And then you might find another route. So let's all climb the mountain together the next 5 days. Are you ready for that? Yeah. Thank you, Wolfgang and Candice. What? Okay. Good.
So we have to
That was.
follow on the next week, you know?
Yeah. So, just to sum it up, what are the learning objectives of this week? And we will follow those learning objectives throughout the different modules. And you have all the material in your workbook, but it's about evaluation concepts, approaches, theories, and their range of application. So we will start with that. Another goal is at the end of the week, you should know about the different phases of an evaluation and the specific related task of evaluators and commissioners. So we want to look at both sides. You should know how to frame an evaluation. We will have a heavy group work on developing theories of change. Then, very important, as Candice mentioned, yeah, there are different mountains and different conditions. So you need to know about how's the influence of context and culture on evaluation. Then Wolfgang is doing his famous, very heavy, hard rock, heavy metal module on design, data collection, and data analysis methods. But the objective is just to get an overview on it. You will not be able to do so much hands-on work. And you will learn about requirements of a good evaluation report, because this is the basic condition to have an evaluation get used, but it's not sufficient. So we will reflect on target group orientation communication, specifically throughout the 7 modules. And then, of course, how the use of evaluation results can be supported right from the beginning and not at the end, right from the start. So, heavy load, 5 days. We want to make it as enjoyable as possible. Of course, it will get probably a little bit tiring in between, and then we will energize you again. And it will be very intensive, but it should also be a lot of fun. So, now, we have introduced the core course objectives and content, but before we start right away with Module 1, which we will do after the coffee break, let us take a step back and have a look at the bigger picture, which is the rationale for being here and conducting the core course on fundamentals of evaluation. And therefore, I would like to introduce Professor Reinhard Stockmann. He initiated the cooperation between CEVAL and the University of Bern for bringing IPDET to Bern. He has been working in the field of evaluation for more than 30 years. He published around 50 books and hundreds of articles. He invented 2 study programs in evaluation and founded the German-speaking Journal of Evaluation. So, he should be able to give you all the answers and solutions how evaluation could contribute to create a better world. Isn't that so, Reinhard?
Thank you very much, Steffi. You make me feel real old. And of course, even I am a little bit old, I will not be able to answer all your questions, maybe. But I want to welcome you here. I want to welcome you here. And I must say it's a great honor and a privilege for me to welcome you here today to the IPDET course, which is being held in this format for the last time in Bern. I would like to take this opportunity to express my special thanks to our highly esteemed program manager, Steffi Krapp. Without her, we would not have been able to organize the last 7 years so successfully and run them so smoothly. But this is not intended to be a farewell speech. I would like to speak to you as a person primarily responsible for the content of IPDET and as a person that has been dedicated to evaluation in many different functions for almost 40 years, Steffi. I'm even older. Yeah. So it was nice. Thanks. I mentioned this because I want to convince you that my personal insights and experiences, which I would like to share with you, are based on empirical evidence. I would like to share 3 thoughts with you. Evaluation is more than a technocratic instrument. Evaluation is more than just another source of evidence, and evaluation does not survive as an island. Let's start with the point: evaluation is more than just another source of evidence. I would say our common goal is to strengthen evidence-based decisions in politics and society. In doing so, we should be aware that there are many sources of evidence, expert opinions, reviews, assessments of all kinds, media articles, narratives, and so on. So that means evaluation is only one source of evidence. So what makes this source so valuable? And what is its added value compared to other sources of evidence? Why should politics and society invest a lot of money in the implementation of evaluation? Well, there are 2 main criteria that distinguish evaluation from other sources of evidence. Firstly, the particular quality of its statements. These must be based on empirical data and derived from data that has a high degree of reliability and validity and has been obtained as objectively as possible. And these quality criteria are universal principles and apply everywhere, at least on this planet. The developed instruments, so the quantitative and the qualitative data gathering and analysis methods, must meet these criteria, but must at the same time also be adapted to the specific contextual conditions. And I think this is one of the most challenging things of evaluation, and maybe also one of the things that make a lot of fun, to adapt these instruments according to the special regional contexts and situations. So I think only if evaluation fulfills these quality criteria will it represent added value compared to other sources of evidence. This is because these results can be trusted as they are highly valid. However, a high quality evaluation not only requires compliance with the scientific quality criteria, but of course also with professional evaluation standards. And also these exist in a variety of formulations. They are all essentially more or less the same. And they also aim to help evaluations achieve a high standard of quality. And they draw our attention to another quality criterion of evaluation. Unlike basic research, or let's say primarily scientific research, evaluation must be useful. It must serve a specific purpose. It must provide answers to the questions of the stakeholders. A professional evaluation is characterized by the fact that it not only meets professional standards, in other words, that results are highly reliable and valid, but they are also at the same time that they are used for evidence-based decisions. The second thought, evaluation is not a technocratic instrument. Of course, evaluations are often used to find out how the planning and implementation of projects, programs, and policies can be improved, where their strengths and weaknesses lie, whether they fulfill criteria such as relevance, effectiveness, efficiency, impact, and sustainability, or others. But you can say evaluation is not just a management tool, like controlling or benchmarking or total quality management. And evaluation is also more than an accountability instrument, like finance or performance audits. Evaluation shows a broader profile. Evaluation is also an instrument that creates transparency when the results are published openly and are made available to all interested parties. Evaluation results then serve to social enlightenment and can be used for the assessment of government action and political dialogue. This happens far too little, and this is where we as evaluators are challenged. On the one hand, we must be aware that evaluations are not just hopefully useful tools of program management and government agencies, but that evaluation is also associated with a societal mission. Taxpayers' money and the donations transferred to non-governmental organizations should be spent effectively, efficiently, sustainably as possible, and not seep into corrupt channels or be wasted on socially irrelevant projects. Evaluation can contribute significantly to good governance and can be used as a parliamentary or a civil society oversight instrument, as a key technology for social change and democratic participation. Evaluation can make a decisive contribution to strengthening democracy in a country. In autocracies and even dictatorships, evaluation can be applied as a management tool, but only in democracies can evaluation fulfill its enlightening function. As evaluators, we should be aware of this. If you really want to take phrases such as "we speak truth to power" seriously and contribute to making the world we live in a little better. The third very practical idea is based on the insights we have gained from our Evaluation Globe study, in which we have analyzed 52 countries on all continents of how evaluation is anchored in the political, the social, and the professional system. And the third idea, however, is also based on the practical experience I have gained from countless evaluation capacity building and evaluation awareness building activities for operational staff all the way up to parliamentarians and members of the government. And what I found out is that evaluation does not survive as an island. This means that it is not enough to train a few evaluators in an organization or to convince a few members of parliament or cabinet members of the value of evaluation. A systematic approach is necessary for evaluation to have an impact, and for those convinced not to die of thirst as lone voices in the wilderness. In other words, the various islands must be networked with each other, and the different levels must be linked hierarchically. This requires a holistic evaluation capacity building approach that serves these different levels of government and organizational hierarchies in parallel. An approach that not only focuses on the technocratic needs of the executive, but also takes parliaments seriously as a legislative force and includes civil society organizations. I would like to invite all of you here to become allies and supporters of these three ideas. You are here to learn more about a diverse field of evaluation, and that's, of course, a good thing. For whatever purpose, you will use your new knowledge to increase the effectiveness and the efficiency of programs, to review the achievement of objectives, impact or sustainability, to strengthen good governance and rational evidence-based decision-making processes, or as a basis for social dialogue to support democratic discourse. For whatever purpose you use evaluation, work professionally and produce high-quality evaluations, in other words, valid and reliable and therefore credible results. But in your role as evaluators, always be aware of the ethical responsibility that this entails. Only together, networked and with courage and confidence as evaluators, we can manage to make a contribution to creating a better world. Thanks a lot.
Wow, thanks a lot, Reinhard. Now we are really eager to hear more about, I guess. And our mindsets are already up to evaluation, and you will keep that for 1 or 2 weeks. So we'll see how that will go, and we try to keep up the spirit from our side also for the next 2 weeks. So now, before we really go to a coffee break, which will be like a little bit longer coffee break where you can already talk to each other, I have to give you some information, which is also important because we are quite a lot of people here in the room, and we have to explain a little bit to you how that will work throughout the week. And of course, there are some rules, so I would like to introduce you to those. Because it's also an advantage that we are together for the whole week, because next week you will all split up in smaller workshops. The advantage is that I can give you some announcements in the morning. I will tell you a Swiss story of the day because you're in Switzerland, some interesting stuff. And what we thought is we set up here like this ton where you can put in questions. And what kind of questions should that be? Because we will be lecturing here, we will engage you in discussions, but that is quite limited. Yeah? If we would like do discussions for hours, only few people could talk, that would get really boring, right? So you have the smaller groups where you can really engage in discussing. And the idea is for the plenum here, when you have questions to the instructor on the content, yeah, there is some room to do that, but then instructors would at some points would say, please, thank you, we have to continue, yeah, otherwise we will lose the time. So the idea is if you still have really important questions, you want to have answers for these questions, please write it down on the card and put it in that box. At the end of the day, we will collect those cards, and the instructors will choose 2 questions or 2 cards. And at the beginning of the next day, early in the morning, they will answer those 2 questions. And that is at the same time kind of a wrap-up of the day before. Those questions which will not be answered, I will collect them and we will provide the answers, and then we will send it to you in a document later in September or October or so. Yeah, so that we can make sure that we have addressed all your questions. But I would like to ask you for your understanding that we cannot do discussion all the time in that room. Yeah. Okay, good. Good. Thank you. And then we have breaks, coffee breaks in the morning. We should stick to 45 minutes, 15 minutes, and in the afternoon. And we have always everyday lunch break between 12:30 and 2 o'clock. And my advice to you is do not go all at the same time to the cafeteria, which is a walk of 5 minutes. Because there will be then a long line, right? There are no other guests in the cafeteria, but again, you know, so to have it a little bit more easygoing, just a couple of you just go 15 minutes later or so. But probably there will be a line at the beginning. Don't worry, we have 1.5 hours time, yeah, but it will work somehow. And tonight, a first announcement. Tonight, it's the welcome reception, and we invite you after we finish the day to an apéro riche. And apéro riche means? Only rich people. No, I mean, it looks like you already have an idea. So there will be a couple of drinks and there will be finger food. And this is very, very typical for Switzerland, yeah, to have apéro. Apéro riche means there's a little bit more food than just apéro, yeah. So it's an apéro riche. So it's really like a dinner. But it will be outside here, and I will introduce you to that apéro riche. I will tell you another story later today. Now, I have a very special request, or Reinhard and I have. We need 2 actors for role play on Tuesday morning. And role 1 is an evaluator, role 2 is a commissioner. We have a kind of a script, but we would like to encourage 2 people who are really, who like to be actors. Oh, here we go. Oh, good. From Egypt. The second one, perfect. So I would suggest in the break they can talk to Reinhard, and Reinhard will explain what it's all about, and then you will surprise us tomorrow morning. Good. Thank you. Cool. Now, the Cosmos, the IPDET Cosmos on Discord. I don't know if you already downloaded the app. Of course, you're not forced to, but it's advisable to do so because we will send you announcements, information, and you can share experiences yourself. You can get connected with others. You can share pictures. We will share pictures. And it's not only for the 2 weeks, but there are many more people, alumni, but also others who could not participate in IPDET. They are all connected there, so you can stay connected beyond this on-site program. So it's advisable to do that. And Clara set up all the folders. There's also a folder on, you know, if there's questions or information on the student house, whoever. Yeah, and then it's just a nice way, an easy way to stay connected and receive information during the next 2 weeks. Some rules. Please mute your phone during the course sessions and the group work. And it's advisable even not to have it on the table. So you will be distracted all the time. Of course, you're adults, right? But still, you should make the most out of it and you should not disturb the others. Whenever we ask you to take out the phone, then we will do so because there will be some votings and there will be some other stuff where you need your phone. Great. Otherwise, please do not use it in the room. If you have to make important calls, of course, that might happen. Please go outside and do it somewhere else. Yeah? Good? Okay. Be on time. This morning, not everybody was on time. I realized that. So I would like to encourage you, not only to encourage you, but to advise you to be on time because, first of all, we are in Switzerland. And I learned, I mean, I'm German, and I've been living here for 7 years now, but Germans are already very punctual, but nothing compared to Swiss, really. I learned Swiss are even, you know, when you start at 9, they are here 10 minutes before, whatever. Even if it's a party, you are early. You are early. And, but most important, of course, yeah, is we want to make the most out of the time. And I mean, it's really disturbing when people just walk in whenever and still tired and then it's really disturbing. And we do our best to be punctual. We have a very strict time management. And we did quite well last year. So our aim is to do that also, but we would like to ask you to be really on time. That also includes being back on time from the breaks. Don't interrupt others speak. I mean, you know, just be respectful to others. Use your mug, wear your badge. I think our PAs already told you 1,000 times. And tap water is drinking water. It is really. So don't worry to drink also the tap water. Minimum attendance 80% to receive a certificate, just for your information. So you should really be in class and not sitting outside and working for hours. Really, it has consequences because it is not just a certificate. And share your own experience and enjoy, of course. Yeah. Now, just a brief information on how the core course material works. You all have the handbook in your hand, right? So that's all the material we will show you here on the slides. We uploaded the document in the e-platform, so you also have it electronically. Because at the end of each module, so we have the 7 module. At the end of each module, there is an annex with some more content you might be interested in, and with references according to the specific content. Yeah, so there are quite a lot of links you could then click on in your electronic version. So you should keep that handbook because we will go through all those content. And you have the group work handout. You have it? Good, that's good. Because we will work with that handout in the group work. So there are the case study descriptions and the group work instructions. So you should also take it with you all the time, because we will work with that throughout the week. And we will assign you to different groups. We will explain that later. Yeah, and the first task is please open your handbook, the core course handbook, and open like I don't know, it's after the Matterhorn somewhere. And there is a page where their question is, what is my personal goal of the core course? So what do I want to have accomplished by Friday at 5:30? So I'll give you kind of 5 minutes because now you should really set up your mind on, okay, let's start with evaluation. We go through all the steps, and on Friday, what is my personal goal I want to have achieved? Please write it down, and on Friday at 5:30, we check again if you really reached that goal, yeah? So just take a couple of minutes and write that down. Was eine Scheiße. Irgendwas ist. Aber vielleicht muss ich es auch mal ein bisschen runterrutschen. Vielleicht ist das hier. Gucken wir mal. okay. I see most of you are finished. Cool. So after each module, we will ask you to briefly do some self-reflection and reflect on the content of the module. So at the end, you have like a nice, memorable self-reflection on, yeah, what have you learned, or maybe is there something you still want to do some more reading or research on it. So at the end, when you're at home, you have this nice reflection written down. Yeah, and then task of the day, I would suggest you just approach two people and you ask them what they like most about the country, what they're doing, and so on. So you start interacting with each other and not with those you already know. And of course, we should all have a great time, and we do whatever we can to support that. And there is a last information I give you before we go to the break. What is that? It's a cowbell. It's a cowbell. So, Swiss story of the day will be introduced by this cowbell so that you know, aha, okay, now the Swiss story of the day. So it's very typical for Switzerland. And these bells are used to find the cows in the fog on the Alps. But also they are used to drive off evil spirits in winter, the dark season, right? So let us all drive off the evil spirits from evaluation and work together on the further professionalization of evaluation. Yeah, coffee break. And back at 11 sharp. Thank you. Enjoy the coffee.